So this is going to be a rather long video. The pre-order of the Atari 7800 Plus has arrived. Cartridge included in that and one wireless controller. Be unboxing that soon. Got the paddle pack with 4 games. I'll be testing those out. I've got Space Invaders for the 2600 and the 7800 Plus plays all of these. I've got Galaga 7800 version, original 80s cartridge, so is this one by the way. This is another original 80s cartridge for the 7800, Impossible Mission. I remember this from the Commodore 64, which is what I had. And then this is a brand new one that's for the 7800, Asteroids Deluxe. Now, there's an urban legend about this from 2007. So there's 2 versions of this cartridge. This is a homebrew. It's made by Bob D. And I've said Bob D because I don't want to butcher his surname. But I'll put his name in the link. And he made this in 2007, so it's a homebrew. And on the original 7800, some say that if you press a certain keyboard combination, certain button combination on the original 7800 with the original 2007 cartridge, it boots into the arcade version of Asteroids Deluxe, of Asteroids. So I'm told that may have carried over into this version on the 7800 Plus. So I'm going to see if that's true. None of the influencers have mentioned that, so I don't really know about the legend, or it is just a legend and it's not true, or if they were under an embargo because they got this a week before and they weren't allowed to say anything about shortcuts and hidden games. But I'm going to try that right at the end. I'm going to start with the unboxing of the 7800. Let's put the games to one side. So the game it comes with is Crystal Quest, which is a sequel to Crystal Castle, written again by Bob D. So this is a HDMI video output. It's all USB for connectors. The controller with this is a wireless controller. The CX78, which was the European version of the joystick that came with the original 7800. Obviously it was wired then in the 80s. Let's have a look what it says around the side. So nothing interesting there. Atari logo on this side, 7800 on that side. Then here we've got what's in the box, which is the console itself, the wireless gamepad, the cartridge game, Bentley crystal cartridge. And it doesn't say the author of this cartridge anywhere on here. But I will put his name in because he did a lot of homebrew stuff for the Atari Age website. 2 USB charging cables, HDMI cable. Well, I'd already plugged an HDMI cable in. And hopefully there's some kind of manual in here as well. So as you can see, this is nicely presented, not as well as the influencers got. I think it was called the Atari 7800 Plus VIP package. So we get this here, and I'm assuming all the cables in the game's going to be in this one. So let's have a look at this first. Right. Let's put the boxes to one side. Did I say Bradley Burr? That was a guy who used to dress up as a Burr at the Holiday parts in the UK. Bentley Bears Crystal Quest. That's what this is. And again, this is a homebrew system. And the author's name doesn't appear on this either. So the P on the back of these stands for PAL. So in the UK it's PAL system, and in America it's NTSC. I haven't got any NTSC cartridges to see if this console will work with those. I'll have to see if I can source one. Wireless controller goes this way. I don't know if this needs charging first. Oh, started to pair already. So there should be, that's it, the top for this. That screws in there. Yeah, I think it's really a D-pad rather than a joystick. And then two buttons here. So these are quite good. So this is one that will connect into an original 7800, so you could use the wireless controller with an original. And this is a USB wireless controller. This can connect obviously into the console, but also into anything else that's got USB. Put them to one side. And then we've got HDMI cable, but I've already connected one up to the monitor, so that's not really. And then USB-A to USB-C, I think this is. Yes, it is. And this is, again, USB-A to USB-C. So what I'm going to do is plug the wireless controller into a charger, just in case it needs some charge before we start. Charging like that, so we know it's charging. I don't know what that changes to when it's fully charged, but I'm sure we'll find out. And then I have the controller itself. Right, I can move this box out the way now, then we can have a good look at what we've got. Contents, where we plug everything in. So this has the original Atari joystick controllers. So the beauty of this is all the original controllers that are out there will connect up to this. So the trackballs, the Pro controller, they'll all connect. Quick start guide that I can't get into. There we go. So we've got an orange flashing light on the controller, which means it's charging, and it goes solid orange when it's fully charged. White flashing syncing when we're syncing the controller to the console. And then we've got a big beginner and advanced button in the front here. Sorry, beginner, novice and advanced expert, and the same on the other side for player 2. So let's plug in this. Oh, it doesn't go in as easy as I thought it would. It's a nice tight fit. So this is a bit smaller than the original 7800, but it's perfectly to scale. So these controls were at the front on the 7800 as opposed to the back on the 2600, which was really annoying for some people. We have the power, pause, select options and reset. Nothing on the right hand side, nothing on the left hand side. Around the back we can switch between 16:9 and 4:3. I'll go by 4:3, I don't like stretched out retro games. The HDMI port on the power port. I also have the booklet and the manual for Bradley Burr. I think I'm going to start with games I'm familiar with first before I get on to the other stuff. So I'm going to start with a 2600 game. Let's plug in its power and the HDMI port. So the HDMI is already into monitor at the other end. That's the power. Is that plugged in? Yes, it is. No HDMI signal on the monitor, which I'm not surprised about because I've not switched it on. Right, I think what you do is plug these in first. I think the label points on the outside, yes, with the name there. So that plugs in there. Let's just move this out of the way and bring the monitor a bit closer. A better view on here. So that's set up. I'm going to have to power on and sync these two controllers together. That's it, they're both solid white. Loading game, that's a good start. I had a bit of a loose connection on the HDMI lead, which I've sorted now. Tell you what, these games don't have bring back memories. It's not about graphics with these. They're classics because of the gameplay. I need to get more practice with these. So you see this green bit here and the yellow bit, that's as far as your person can go. So I can't get past there. I need to get this one out. Right, let's try another cartridge. So the next cartridge I'm putting in is Galaga. I also changed the HDMI bleed out because I wasn't happy with the glitching I was getting on the original. So I put the one in that came with it. I used to play this game all the time in the arcades. That sounds the same. Yeah, I think there was something up with my other HDMI cable. I think there's a better version of this that's a homebrew. I'm going to see if I can get some of the homebrew ones. The homebrew ones tend to be very, very faithful to the arcade versions. Oh, you know, I'm going to have hours of fun with this. My ultimate ambition is to build my own arcade machine. Using, obviously, emulation. This is emulation, so it's not a FPGA version. It's not a chip-by-chip version replica of the 7800. It's done by emulation. But, say I could have emulated all this in the Raspberry Pi, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as having the physical same stuff and collecting cartridges again, which you always own. Like this cartridge is from the 80s. Still working fine. I don't need a server somewhere to connect to. The one game I really wanted, which you can't get from this, is Stargate, which is actually Defender 2. And that is my favourite game from the arcades. Well, I'd love to carry on playing this, but you're going to get bored with me just watching me play this. So I'll try the next cartridge, which is Impossible Mission. Which is, I think I said at the beginning of the video, is what I used to play on the Commodore 64. So, power off. Galaga cartridge out. Impossible Mission cartridge in. Now, every time you power off, I've noticed that the connection between the wireless controller and the wireless controller it's difficult for me to get everything in the shot. And the machine cuts off. So when I power back on, I have to hit this sync button again. Yeah, there's definitely something up with my original HDMI cable that I had in here. This seems to be fine. So I don't know what the graphics of this are going to be like compared to the Commodore 64. But I am going to do another series of videos next week comparing the Commodore 64 Maxi, which is a reproduction of the Commodore 64 from 4 years ago, I think, when the Sinclair Spectrum when that arrives, and the Atari 400. So all the 8-bit computers that were around at the same time. I'm going to do a comparison and run-throughs of games and connecting keyboards and things to them. My ultimate aim is to take out the guts of a broken Commodore 1541 disk drive. Don't like modding anything that's actually working. I'm putting a 3.5-inch floppy in there and then putting some games and ROMs onto 3.5-inch floppy to get a much better realistic simulation of a Commodore 64 from back in the day. So this one, you've got to avoid robots, hack computer. This is really good graphics. Yeah, I don't think you can do that. Security Terminal 24. I hit reset. That's why that's gone off. So let's try that again. Oh, you can't jump into them. Yeah, I think I need practice on lots of these. Right, let's try a different one. So I'll power this one on. And I'll tell you what, let's see if the urban myth's right about this Asteroids Deluxe. And let's see if we can get the actual arcade version to show instead of... So I'll put on original version first. And then I'll see if I can get the right key combination for the Easter egg game, which is meant to be a complete, accurate version of the arcade Asteroids. So obviously it's going to have fake vector graphics. Can't get vector graphics on an LCD, but it's the white one. I like the packaging on these cartridges. So there's a series of 12, I think, of these that are right. I got this from HMV. They have them all. So it comes in a nice box with manual of instructions for the games. Controls. So see, this is green. This game is the version with the green graphics. And you get shields instead of hyperspace. On the original arcade, you got a hyperspace button. Oh, it doesn't bring back memories taking a brand new cartridge out of the box. So, Asteroids Deluxe. So I'm just going to boot into the game that you get, Asteroids Deluxe, see what that plays like, and then I'm going to see if I can get it to switch to the arcade version. And if I do, that's going to be a first on YouTube because nobody else has managed it. I think that changes to red if you get the right key combination. You see the bottom was made in 2007. Yeah, I spent way too much time on this in the arcade when I was at uni instead of studying. That's thrust. Okay. Oh, you're not supposed to be crashing to them, are you? Yeah, just like the arcade. As soon as you complete a level, they speed up. Right, I'm going to see now. I'm going to power off and see if we can get the Easter egg to work. Now, on the original 7800 with the original 7800 cartridge for Asteroids, it used to be power on, press pause straight away and hold it. I don't think that's right for this one. I think this is going back into the game. See which game this is. Oh, that's it. Yes. So, you've seen a first on YouTube. Nobody else has managed to get the new 7800 Plus with the new 7800 cartridge to switch to the arcade accurate version. This is, I'll tell you what, this is lots more difficult than the Atari Deluxe, the Asteroids Deluxe. Right, so what I did was press the power button, then immediately pressed the pause button and held it until the game loaded. So anybody else who's got 7800 today and managed to get this game, that's what you need to do. Oh, I hit the hyperspace button then and disappeared. When you do that, you just reappear at some random spot on the screen. So it's really, you press that when you're really desperate. Do you know what? I don't think this video is going to be much longer than this because I want to get on there and just play. But I have got the paddle game pack to show you, which I will do. Oh, I'm so glad I managed to hack into the arcade version. That really does bring back memories. Right, I'm going to turn this off. Remove the wireless controller. I'm not going to need that. And we are going to, when I find where I put it, have a look at the paddle games. Let's take that cartridge out. So I'll connect the controllers up. So I'm on my own at the minute, so I'll just be connecting one controller up. I'm also so glad that I troubleshooted that really quickly, and it was my HDMI cable, not the one that's supplied that was a bit dodgy there. So these are the paddles. Oh, didn't expect that. So, both controllers are connected to just one joystick controller. Really strange. Wonder why they did that when they've got a player 1 and 2. Now, this is based on the design of the original one from the 70s, so I wonder if the Atari 2600 only ever had one joystick port when they had to double up. I'll find out in a minute. So this cartridge comes with 4 games, and you select them. I'm not going to go through all 4 games on here. I'm going to go through Breakout, which is a classic, which everybody likes. And Night Driver, because I'm wondering if the paddles, goes that way, if the paddles will also act as a steering wheel for that Night Driver. So let's put that one, we'll put Breakout in first. There we are. I don't know if it'll matter which paddle controller I use. I've got the left-hand side one. That one's not working. Let's try this one. That's the one that's working. Do I have to select? Really don't know what I'm doing here, and there's no instructions. So I can move the paddle, but I'm not sure how you fire the ball. Well, that was a dismal failure. Let's try selecting Night Driver. So that is dip switch 2 down. Just connect with those. So we can have better look there. There. And then power back on. That controller's not working. I wonder if the controller needs to go in the other one. No, I'm failing on this one. Tell you what, I'll pause and see if I can read the instructions. It does help if you read the instructions. It's such a simple game, but they're so challenging. Well, for me anyway. Brilliant. So this does work. It's just me. You hit the red button on the side, the ball's sent down, and then it's normal arcade. This does remind me of the first video game I ever had, way before consoles. I think it must have been 72, and it was Pong. It just had two bats here that went this way, and you knocked a ball between player 1 and player 2. And then you had a variation that was squash, so you had lines here with a bat, or you could just knock that. You could have 2-player on that one as well. But I love that. And I love these. I'm going to spend all night now trying all these games and trying to get high scores. One of the games, the game that I really wanted for this is arriving tomorrow, hopefully. And that's Stargate. So I'll do another video tomorrow. I'll let you know how I've gone on with this console here, which games I like, which I don't recommend, and I'll do a video of a run through on Defender, because that game is out of this world. So if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really does enable me to do more videos like this, get more things in, become more like the channel that I want, which is, it's called the Gadget Master. So it's gadgets that I mostly want to review. And that's it basically. See you tomorrow on the next video, which will be a review of this, trying the Stargate version. And then tomorrow I'm going to try and build a word clock, which I'll put a preview video up at the end of one of my other videos explaining what that is. So hopefully I'll get that up tomorrow night as well. And then next week I'll do the 8-bit computers. So it'll be a bit of what happened in the 80s, competition in the UK anyway, competition between the Spectrum and the Commodore 64. Commodore 64 won as far as sale because it was a lot cheaper. But as far as I'm concerned, the Commodore 64 won in quality and games. But I'm not going to bias that. We'll see what the modern versions are like. We'll see which of those we're gonna recommend. So see you in the next video.